Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Note to Self. Before I dive into today's juicy topic, I just want to share one quick thing. If this podcast has supported you, inspired you, or helped you shift something internally, leaving a rating or review truly goes such a long way. It helps this work reach people who are ready to receive it, and it really means a lot to me. So, let's dive in. Like I said, today's topic is juicy. I'm going to be talking about a distinction that has completely changed how I experience my life, my relationships, and the speed at which things shift for me. And that is the difference between reacting to reality and responding to it. So on the surface, reacting and responding can look similar, but energetically, they are worlds apart. Reaction comes from the nervous system. Response comes from the self. Reaction is fast, charged, emotional, there's urgency to it, and response is grounded, intentional, spacious, and full of personal power. Reaction says, "This means something about me. I need to fix this now. I'm not safe yet." And response says, "I can be with this. I get to choose how I meet this moment unfolding in front of me. I trust myself." And that difference changes everything. Now, I want to highlight for a moment why reaction itself slows manifestation, because I'm not just talking about reaction as in the things you might say or do. I'm speaking into reaction in regards to your internal state. Like, let's say if you're desiring to manifest money in your life and you look at your bank account and your stomach sinks, or you receive an unexpected bill, like, does that trigger a response in your nervous system? Well, that's the reaction that I'm speaking to here. We can go really deep with this, and this is what I really want to inspire you to do today, because it is life-changing. So I'm going to bring in Neville for a moment. That's our old school manifestation guru. He is awesome. If you guys haven't checked out Neville Goddard's work, it's really incredible. Law of Assumption is definitely a great place to start and dive into. I've got podcasts on that. But today we're diving into where and how, when we react to the 3D, we're giving it authority over the authority that we can be giving ourselves. So essentially, it's like where we're giving our power away. And when we choose to keep our power inside, we can make things happen much more quickly for us. We can feel more satisfied, more fulfilled, more excited about our lives and where we're going. So when we react to the 3D, we give it the authority that says, this is real. This determines who I am. This decides what's possible. And Neville taught that what we react to, we reinforce. So reaction itself locks us into the state of not having. It keeps us identifying with the version of the self who is waiting, chasing, or proving. And from a quantum perspective, reaction collapses us into the current timeline instead of allowing movement into a new one. So it reinforces the identity that we're doing our best to shift away from. So responding is not pretending that nothing is happening. It's not bypassing. It's not suppressing emotion. Responding is staying present without collapsing into meaning. That means that whatever might be attempting to trigger you in your reality, right? Let's say if we're circling back to the money example, you receive an unexpected bill, right? Being able to respond versus react to that is saying, I see this, I feel this, and I'm choosing who I am while it unfolds. Which means that internally you could be telling yourself a story like, oh, I've got this, right? An unexpected bill shows up. Well, that means that the money is here to pay it. That means that I have more than enough to pay this. And that's the universe showing me that I'm capable. I'm capable of receiving something unexpected and being able to move forward. And that choice, that internal choice, is everything, because manifestation doesn't respond to circumstances. It responds to state, right? It responds to your energetic state, the energy, the dominant energy that you are embodying. So Neville talked about different states of consciousness. He talked about how you don't get what you want, you get what you are being identified with. Essentially drawing it back to what I just shared around your identity, right? If you're choosing to identify with things that you don't like in your life, you're reinforcing that identity. If you're starting to identify with the you that you want to be, who you are becoming, everything unfolding in your favor, that starts to lock in a different energetic set point, a different energetic state that begins to lock in over time. So reaction keeps you identified with the one who is waiting, the one who is lacking, and the one who is trying to change reality. Response, right? The power of conscious choice. Response shifts you into the one who trusts, the one who is grounded, the one who knows it's already done. And from that state, things move faster because there's less resistance. And honestly, you just move through life more happy. You move through life more fulfilled, more content, more satisfied. Who doesn't want that, right? Just take a moment in your life to think about maybe something that you're not feeling as good as you could feel, right? What are the stories that you're telling yourself there, right? What is the reaction that you keep perpetuating? What could be a conscious way to respond to that, right? What, if anything, could shift you from a reactional state into a responsive state? Now, let's talk about responding in real time and what this actually looks like, because this is where you can really see your own growth. I think that any of you listening to this podcast, you can recognize something in your life that maybe used to trigger you. Maybe there was somebody in your life who really used to trigger you. Maybe there was a job that really used to trigger you. Maybe there was a thought that really used to trigger you. And now you're totally fine. It's like water off a duck's back. It just hits you and repels right off of you, let's say. Okay? So you are all capable of shifting from any place of reaction in your life into response. Now, let's make it practical. Responding might look like feeling disappointment without spiraling into self-doubt. Responding might look like hearing no without making it mean never. Responding might look like pausing before sending the text, the email, or the message. Responding might look like letting emotions move through your body without acting from them. Responding might look like choosing silence instead of explanation. And this is not passive, this is self-leadership, right? This is keeping your energy locked in, harnessed, and focused on the self, right? Allowing yourself to be human, allowing emotions to flow through, but not letting them be the ones who are speaking, making decisions. Maintaining your center, maintaining your power, and choosing how to respond to reality in front of you. So here's why this speeds results up. This is the quantum piece that people miss. When you stop reacting, your nervous system settles, your energy becomes coherent, and your identity stabilizes. And coherence collapses timelines faster than force ever could. Because you stop interrupting the unfolding, you stop re-choosing the old state, and you stop telling the universe, this isn't working yet. Instead, your energy communicates, I know who I am, I trust the process, and I'm available for the next step. So drawing back a point that Neville makes, oftentimes I think about it like planting a seed. Right? When Neville talks about planting something into your subconscious, it's like a seed, right? So let's say that you've already decided that your business is successful, okay? And you've planted that seed. Well, any time that you might be reacting to reality is essentially you digging up that seed to see if it's starting to grow, right? So let's say you've decided that your business is successful, the clients are flowing in, and you receive an email of a lead that was interested in working with you, and then they decided not to move forward working with you, are you having a reaction in your body? If you are, that's essentially you digging up that seed and checking to see if it grew. When really, what could be unfolding in the space unseen, right? The universe is always working in our favor, always working on our behalf in ways unseen. Maybe somebody out there in that exact moment is having a conversation with their best friend talking about how they cannot wait to work with you. Okay? You don't know. And by maintaining that inner power, right? Maintaining that way of response versus reaction, right? You're training your body and your system that you are safe, you are okay. Everything actually still is unfolding. Your business is actually incredibly successful, and this doesn't mean anything about that. Somebody deciding not to move forward working with you means nothing about that, right? It's not rejection, it's a redirection. It wasn't meant for you. And locking that in on a nervous system level and being able to respond to your reality in that way just makes life move so much more smooth. So let's talk about emotional regulation as a manifestation skill, because this is what I'm speaking into. And this is one of the biggest upgrades I've personally made. Manifestation isn't about thinking positive thoughts, okay? A part of that is, right, thinking thoughts like it's all happening for me, all of that. But really, when we have emotional maturity, when our system is regulated, we have the ability to feel something without becoming it. We have the ability to witness reality without surrendering identity. And that's power, that's embodiment, that's quantum leadership. And I want to just give another example about this just to hit this home for a second here. So you are human. You are allowed to feel emotions. You will feel emotions. So let's say, when you're reading that email of that lead that was maybe going to decide to work with you and they say no, right? You can feel, disappointment for a moment. You can let that emotion flow through. I'm not talking about just like being, cold and hard and not letting anything touch you in that way. But what I mean by water off a duck's back is that it might hit you for a moment, but then it just washes right off, right? And that's the state that we're desiring to get to, one that is able to observe the emotions, but not act upon them, not create meaning on them, right? Not letting that water that's hitting the duck's back mean that nothing good is happening today, or that today sucks, or whatever, right? It's not deciding something in that moment, whether that be meaning or the way that something's going to go for you. It's about being the gentle observer of those things. And being the gentle observer allows your nervous system to relax and allow emotions that are natural and needing to flow through. So here's a simple anchor that you can use when something triggers you. Simply just pause and ask, what am I making this mean? Who am I being right now? And how would the version of me who already has this respond? Right? How would the version of you who already has a successful business respond and start practicing that identity? Not reacting, responding. Even one breath creates a different timeline, right? Taking a pause, taking a moment. Now, I want to leave you with a few gentle questions that I feel could spark the next shift for you. So, where in your life do you notice yourself reacting automatically? Right? What would it feel like to pause instead of pounce? Pause instead of have that reaction. And where could neutrality be more powerful than intensity? Right? Who do you become when you trust yourself to respond? Right? Allow that awareness to flow in. No pressure. Just if anything sparked for you, that could be a grand opportunity to create a shift that is going to shift many more things for you. So again, responding to reality doesn't mean disengaging from life. It means remembering that you are the one who decides the meaning, the pace, and the state that you occupy. And from that place, things shift, often faster than you expect. So, If this episode resonated with you and you feel called to deepen this work, please fill out the Core Energy Coaching link down below. This is an application that I have to work one-on-one. I've got 2 spaces available to fill. So if you've been feeling the nudge, this is your invitation. We can craft a personalized coaching package just for you. Or if you feel like working together in person, I have Cambo ceremonies in Toronto that I'm holding each month, and you can find all the details linked down below. And just remember, presence is powerful. Presence is key in all of this. Trust yourself. Thank you for being here with me. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.